Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into verses 48 to 50 in chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, and you know what we're looking at, right? Karma Yoga. And since you're all familiar with joyful living and mental maturity already, we can skip those explanations. Let's get straight to the heart of it. How to actually turn our everyday actions into Karma Yoga. You know, the kind of stuff we do all the time.
That's a great point to start. You don't need some big life change for karma yoga. It's about changing how we see and do things, especially at work and when we're helping others. Like, even the smallest things can become karma yoga.
Our source material actually says that something can't be karma and Karma Yoga at the same time.
Yeah.
So what's the difference then?
It all comes down to what's going on inside you, what your motivation is. Say you're working on a project. If you're just chasing recognition, a promotion, or money, that's karma. It's all about those external things. But if you approach the same work with a sense of duty, like you're doing it for something bigger than yourself, that's karma yoga. It's not about what's in it for me, but how can I contribute?
So it's like the same action can be karma or Karma Yoga depending on why you're doing it. It's not the what, it's the why. It seems subtle, but I can see how that could change things a lot.
It's a huge change in how you see life, really. And the source material actually gives us 6 principles of karma yoga to help us make that shift.
6 principles,
Yeah.
okay? The first one is about getting rid of likes and dislikes. That sounds tough, though.
It can be. We all naturally like some things and dislike others. But for karma yoga, this principle is about doing all your duties with the same attitude no matter what you personally feel. Think about a programmer, super excited about a big project. They get attached to it, their happiness depends on it. Then they get moved to something less exciting, and their motivation disappears. That's being swayed by likes and dislikes.
So for Karma Yoga, the best way is to do both projects with the same effort and focus, right? Like seeing that being a programmer is more important than any specific project or what comes out of it.
Exactly. When you let go of those likes and dislikes, you don't get caught up in the emotional roller coaster. You find a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment.
That makes sense. And doesn't this connect to mental maturity too? If we're always reacting based on our preferences, we're controlled by external things. But if we can be more balanced, we become steadier, more resilient, and can handle life's ups and downs better.
You got it. This detaching from temporary preferences is a major step towards mental maturity. It helps us act from a stable place inside, not getting tossed around by things outside. And that stability is key for a truly joyful life, which is what we're all aiming for.
So removing likes and dislikes isn't just some philosophy. It actually helps us find peace of mind and move towards joyful living. This deep dive is already changing how I see things. Okay, what's the next principle we should look at?
The next principle is about work as worship. It's pretty powerful. We'll get into that next.
Work is worship, huh? That's an interesting way to put it. So how do we actually do that?
Well, think about it this way. It's like we're changing how we see our everyday stuff. Instead of seeing work as like a chore or just a way to get a paycheck, we start to approach it, with reverence and dedication, like it's something sacred, an offering.
So like instead of complaining about emails and deadlines, we're thinking about our work as service, as part of something much bigger.
Exactly. It's recognizing that all our efforts, even those boring tasks, they're part of this like huge web of life. Think about, say, a sanitation worker. It's
Yeah.
not a glamorous job, right? But it's so important for the community's health and well-being. When they approach their work with that work as worship mindset, it becomes like more than just a job. It becomes an act of service, a way of contributing to something good.
Yeah, that really changes how you see things. And it makes me realize we often get so caught up in the results of our work, the money, the promotion, the recognition. But Karma Yoga seems to be more about the journey, like how dedicated we are, how much we put our heart into it.
That's it. It's finding that feeling of satisfaction in the act of doing the work, not just in what you get out of it. The source material emphasizes this too, that when we do our duties with this mindset, we find a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction.
I can see how this would be helpful for people who feel kind of stuck in their jobs.
Yeah.
If you can see your tasks as a way of serving, contributing to something bigger, it could totally change your experience.
Totally. It's finding meaning in the now, not just chasing some reward in the future. And remember, this isn't just for work, it's for everything we do, even the little things. How we treat our family, strangers, how we care for the environment. Everything can be done with that work as worship attitude.
So it's like bringing that reverence, that dedication to everything we do, seeing every moment as a chance to serve and contribute.
Exactly. It's a profound shift that can really change how we experience life, really.
I can already feel like lighter just thinking about it. It's like when you let go of needing that external validation and just focus on service, you find a deeper kind of joy and fulfillment.
That's the beauty of karma yoga, right? You don't have to chase happiness. It comes naturally when you align your actions with your purpose.
This principle is really speaking to me. Okay, what's next? What's the next principle we should explore?
The next one focuses on, well, it builds on what we've been talking about. It's about accepting results as gifts, like gifts from God. We'll get into that now.
Okay, so we're back and ready to keep exploring this karma yoga thing. We've already talked about letting go of likes and dislikes, seeing work as worship, and that whole idea of accepting results as gifts. It's really making me think differently about how I go about my day. So what else can help us actually make this karma yoga shift?
Well, the next principle is all about sincerity and dedication. Sounds simple, right? But it's deeper than just trying hard. It's about making sure that everything you do comes from a genuine place inside.
So it's not enough to just go through the motions. We have to really be present, put our whole heart into it, no matter what we're doing.
Exactly. Remember that doctor we talked about before? Imagine if they were doing surgery, but their mind was somewhere else, distracted or even resentful. Even if the surgery went perfectly fine, that lack of sincerity, it kind of takes away from the whole action.
It's like that saying, wherever you are, be all there. Karma yoga seems to be about bringing that level of presence and intention to everything, right?
You got it. It's about having that deep integrity where your actions actually reflect what's going on inside. It shows how connected our inner world is to what we do out there.
That's a powerful idea. But what about when things don't go our way? How does karma yoga help with setbacks and disappointments?
That's where the next principle comes in, not being swayed by results. It builds on what we've been talking about, reminding us that we should aim for excellence, but not get attached to how things turn out.
So it's about focusing on doing our best right now without letting past successes or failures, control what we do today.
Exactly. We got to develop that resilience, that ability to handle both wins and losses with, grace and a steady mind. Imagine a writer, right, whose first book totally flopped. They could easily get discouraged and give up. But this principle, it encourages them to see that failure as a lesson. Learn from it, keep getting better, but don't let it define them.
It's like every moment is a fresh start, a chance to use what we've learned and move forward with that renewed dedication. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Karma yoga is about having that kind of spirit, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. It's about embracing the whole journey, the good and the bad, knowing that those challenges are often where real growth happens. And that brings us to our last principle, unlinking rights and duties.
Okay, this one sounds interesting. How do we actually unlink those things, in real life?
This principle is all about challenging that transactional mindset we often have. It encourages us to do what's right because it's right, not because we expect something in return, even if others aren't holding up their end of the deal.
So it's realizing that our actions aren't dependent on what other people do. We're responsible for our own choices, and doing the right thing is important no matter what others do.
That's it. It's letting go of that need for everything to be fair and equal and moving towards that unconditional service.
It's a big shift, isn't it? Like letting go of that need to control others and focusing on our own intentions and actions.
It is a big shift, but a powerful one. It frees us from all that resentment and frustration we get when we feel like we're owed something or that people should act a certain way.
It makes me think about unconditional love, giving without expecting anything back, acting from that pure generosity and compassion.
That's a great connection. Karma yoga is like bringing that unconditional love and service to everything we do, realizing that even small actions can have a ripple effect, beyond what we can even see.
So we've covered all 6 principles: letting go of likes and dislikes, seeing work as worship, accepting those results as gifts, sincerity and dedication, not being swayed by the outcome, and unlinking rights from duties. It's amazing how all these pieces come together, to change our whole approach to life. But how does all this actually lead us to that joyful living we're talking about?
Remember, joyful living isn't about being happy all the time or avoiding problems. It's about finding that deep inner peace, that feeling of fulfillment, even when things are tough. Karma yoga helps us get there by, untangling us from the stuff that causes suffering, those attachments and expectations. When we dedicate our actions to something bigger than ourselves, we find that meaning and purpose that can get us through anything.
So it's not about changing what's happening around us. It's about changing what's happening inside. It's about doing things from a place of love and service, aligning our actions with that higher purpose.
You said it perfectly. And before we wrap up this deep dive into karma yoga, I want you all to think about this. If you truly believe that the food on your table is a gift, not something you earned, how would that change how you approach not just eating, but everything you do?
That's a really powerful question. It makes you think about being grateful, appreciating everything we have, remembering that we're all connected and that our actions can make a real difference in the world.
Exactly. When we embrace karma yoga, our everyday lives can become, like a sacred journey, a path towards more peace, joy, and fulfillment.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploring karma yoga. We hope you found some insights that will inspire you to live each day with more awareness, more intention, and a renewed sense of purpose and joy. See you next time.